Dear students, it is the second video for the week 16 and we are learning about foreign policy of Pakistan. In the first video, we learned about the definition of foreign policy, scope, and the main actors or the components of the foreign policy. The students, now we are going to talk about the general objectives or determinants of foreign policy. कि फॉरेन पॉलिसी जो है उसके दूसरे मुल्कों के साथ जो हमारे ताल्लुकात की हिकमत अमली है उसकी मेन क्या क्या ऑब्जेक्टिव्स होते हैं, क्या क्या टारगेट्स होते हैं जो एक मुल्क को ज़रूरी होते हैं, किन के तहत वो दूसरे ममालिक के साथ अपने ताल्लुकात को डेवलप करते हैं. नंबर 1, sovereignty and integrity of the state. That the safety and integrity of the state is one of the very important objective. The prime objective is to save the state from any foreign aggression, any undue influence, any exploitation by other countries, agencies, persons, cultures. Clear? This is very important thing. Clear? And it speaks to safeguard the property of citizens and protect their interest, whatever they are. Clear? So this is the very important point for sovereignty and integrity of the state. Clear? Therefore, when Pakistan came into being for the defense purposes, Pakistan went into American bloc and the Western bloc because to protect its sovereignty and integrity against the hostile, against the Indians, against the India. Fine. Number 2, interdependence of the states. This is a very important thing, that no state in the world is omnipotent. Every state needs the relations. They have needs and compulsions. Okay? Therefore, they have to develop relations with the other countries. I gave you the example of Saudi Arabia, of the Gulf countries and the other world, that the Gulf countries are oil producing, and oil and gas are the basic things for the development of every country, right? Therefore, they want better relations with these countries so that the supply of oil be frequent to them. China needs oil. India is a big economy. Brazil is a big economy. Americans are the big economy, and so are the small countries. In response, the Arab world, they need the agriculture product, they need clothing, they need human resource, they need many things, and other countries, they help them out in that. For example, Arab countries in the past didn't have very strong army. Therefore, they always looked forward towards Americans. They would ask Pakistan and others for the defense purposes. Clear? In short, every state have to be dependent on the other state. Another very important example is that the Eastern European countries, they're extreme cold. वहाँ पर बड़ी सख्त सर्दी होती है. तो उस इलाके में रशिया जो है, that is a country with enough oil and gas resources. तो रशिया उन इलाकों में गैस की सप्लाई करता है, and that's how their life runs. But in recent war, the gas prices have increased. and so the life is very tough. जो महंगाई है उस वजह से, because their countries were dependent on the oil and gas from the Russia. Promotion of the national interests. Clear? Every country develops relations with the other countries for the promotion of the national interest. For example, in United Nations, on Kashmir issue, India and Pakistan both try to create lobby to tell the other countries about the situation in Kashmir. Clear? So Kashmir is a common interest. Clear? Terrorism is a common interest. Clear? The countries do communicate the friends and convince them that they are being hurt by the very state. Fine. तो इसके लिए हमें हर जगह पर अपने जो कौमी मफादात होते हैं उनके लिए दोस्तों की जरूरत होती है, and these interests change according to time, place, location, and circumstances. Clear? Another, internal and external conditions. Internal and external conditions of the country are also very important factors that they also help us to devise the foreign policy. For example, geography, geographic, geostrategic location. Let's, for example, Pakistan cannot deny Afghanistan, and no country even can deny Afghanistan because of the geography. We are the neighbors of Afghanistan. Iran is the neighbor of Afghanistan. Tajikistan is the neighbor of Afghanistan. Okay, so when there was a war, there was foreign occupation, every country was hurt. Therefore, Pakistan have to intrude into the Pakistan have to keep eye on the relationship of Afghanistan. Clear? We have historic relations with that country. Population is also very important. Clear? A country with huge population requires more resource, more energy, more food, more technology. Therefore, they must develop relations with the other countries to keep up the definition, and this is how imports and exports do. For example, Pakistani economy is now in worse situations. We are looking forward from the other countries for financial assistance, technical assistance. Clear? Economic needs. Clear? Pakistan, because of the economics needs, compel us to move to these countries. Recently, you find Sri Lanka went bankrupt, and now the situation is worst. They're always looking forward from the other countries to rescue them. Ideology. Ideology plays a very vital role in the relations of the country. Often it is seen that Christian states do help the Christian states in the world. For example, Indonesia is an Islamic country, Muslim country, but there was a little portion that called East Timor, that was a little portion of their country, and the Christian community sought freedom. उन्होंने तहरीक आज़ादी चलाई इंडोनेशियन स्टेट के खिलाफ. Western countries helped out. Clear? And similarly, because of our ideology, the Muslim countries support the other countries. For example, Pakistan, because in the very ideology, we have relations with the Muslim countries. History plays a very vital role in development of the relations. For example, the relationship of Turkey and Pakistan are prehistoric. In Khilafat movement, these Muslims of subcontinent, they sacrificed a lot, and same thing has been remembered by Turkey, and they always try to rescue Pakistan, okay, and they show solidarity in different situations. Similarly, Hindu states, for example, Nepal is a Hindu state, and India is the big country, but they both have the very strong relations just because of the ideology, religion, and history. Culture. Culture is very important. Again, we Pakistani are quite similar to the because our culture is dominantly by the local culture is dominated by the Central Asian countries, Turkish, Afghan, and other influences. But we also cannot deny the language since we've been slaves of the British. अंग्रेजों का भी गुलाम रहे हैं. Therefore, our education system, our most of dress, language, okay, many cuisines, even norms, they are influenced by British. So we are the mixture of East and West. And that is the reason that Pakistani and people of the subcontinent can easily adjust in any culture. Military capacity, very strong point. Pakistan is the sixth largest country in terms of the, I think it's 10th largest nation in the world with high military capacity. Military capacity is very important. Fine. Countries always in the current relations, for example, in the conflict of Armenia and Azerbaijan, the world was divided into two groups. One group was helping out Armenians, okay, West helped the Armenians, and similarly some local states, they helped out the Azerbaijanians. Fine. So every country wants the military relations with the other, military capacity, and same thing is social structure. Social structure of the country is very important. For example, people from subcontinent, they easily adjust in the Western countries like America, England. They easily adjust in Australia just because of the social structure. But they hardly adjust in the Arab world because they cannot adjust easily. Personalities, public opinion, fine, they are the external determinants, and other are global environment, great power structure, clear, great power structure. This is very important. देखिए दुनिया के अंदर दो ममालिक हैं. Great power structures is half of the countries are under the control of America. Half of the world was under the control of a large portion of the world was under the control of Russia, and now another influence is raising, and that is China. Clear? So they are the great power structures. People, other countries, because of their defense, because of the economic purposes, are connected, and they have to connect with these powerhouses. Alliances बनते हैं, जैसे NATO है, it's an alliance. Fine. Like India has made this Quad against alliance of America, India, Japan, clear, against Chinese influence, international organizations like these UNO, United Nations, clear, Amnesty International. world public opinion. Fine. So they are all the objectives of the foreign policy. इनके जेर असर भी foreign policy पर ये बड़े असरअंदाज होते हैं. Clear? The students, we have discussed in detail the specific objectives. They were the general, and now they are the specific, that geography, history, population, economic factors, development, national and military capacity, ideology, public opinion. Fine. So they are the specific. Now talk about the public opinion. When a country, public opinion mean to make the opinion in the other world. For example, Indian, Americans, and the other countries have published some of the Muslims to be like terrorists. Clear? तो ये दिमाग बना दिया जाता है दूसरे मुल्कों का ना, बदनाम किया जाता है on media and all others. Fine. So public opinion is very important. Therefore, countries need to change their public opinion. Let's see. Specifically, in democratic countries, public opinion cannot be ignored as one of the determinants of the foreign policy. It is often vague, volatile, amenable to quick change, and difficult to mobilize. कि भी public opinion पाई जाती है. आपने देखा होगा कि कई दफा something happens in the other part of the world. For example, Israelis often attack on Palestinians, but the people come out against Israeli aggression in America, France, England, and similarly you find the people come out against Indian aggression in Kashmir and Khalistan, in Punjab. Clear? They are also facing the public opinion. For example, India is very quite unhappy with uh, Canada because there are Sikhs and they want the separation from India and they want to constitute Khalistan. Fine. And they are running. And this is how, when the public opinion is made in the other countries, those countries are often then, तो फिर लोग जो है उनको मजबूर करते हैं to change their stance. Decision makers. Leadership determines the health, strength, and direction of the foreign policy. Okay? Leaders move the foreign policy. Domestic instability. Domestic instability often the foreign develops the foreign policy. For example, when till Americans were controlling the Afghanistan, their puppet government had different kind of policy. They alleged Pakistan involvement in Afghanistan relations. Clear? Once their government is over, now the new government has a different stance. Their problems are different. Their objectives are different. Thank you very much, dear students. I hope you have understood